Hey guys, this is me, Kevin Murphy, from my channel called Narcissistic Abuse, Learning Who I Am Again. I am actually doing a video for my apartment. I have a blanket over me because it's freezing. Um, we had 70-degree weather yesterday and even earlier this morning and this afternoon, and somehow by this evening it just got freezing, so I'm snuggled up under this quilt here. So tonight I'm going to talk about how narcissistic survivors suffer from perfectionism. As narcissistic survivors, we may compare ourselves to other people, whether it's our friends, our siblings, other people in our lives, because as children we were trained to always be the best. So this sometimes comes from the narcissist constantly comparing our achievements, comparing ourselves to other people. For example, the narcissist might, you might come home and tell the narcissistic parent that you got A's and B's on your report card. And the narcissist will tell you that, oh, well, Sally got all A's on her report card. So this makes you feel like crap because it's like, well, I busted my ass in school and I did really well and I really wanted to please you and I really wanted to make you proud, and you're comparing me with Sally. So then you're feeling depressed and you're feeling defeated because, this narcissistic parent is dismissing, your good grades and your accomplishments and your hard work by comparing them to Sally. Another way that survivors will engage in perfectionistic behavior is by comparing our incomes. We compare our grades to other friendships or other people in our lives, people who are in the same age group as us. We compare how we're living or what kind of car we drive or whether we're single or married, and we start to engross our sense of self and our sense of identity into those things. So we feel that if we're single and the narcissist feels that, oh, where's your girlfriend or where's your boyfriend or why aren't you married or anything like that, then we rush into relationships that are not good for us in order to make the narcissist proud or in order to make the narcissist get off our back or whatever. A lot of this is fueled out of our own self-esteem issues that were fueled by the narcissist. We feel a sense of self-loathing. We feel a sense of inadequacy and iniquity in our lives. And we feel the need to constantly compare. So we won't look at our friends and people who love us as people that love us or people we love. We'll look at them as like the enemy, or we'll look at them as someone that we have to constantly compare ourselves with. And, ladies and gentlemen, that is a sure way to really bomb a friendship or bomb a relationship. Because our friends and our family members who aren't narcissistic don't deserve to be treated like that. They deserve to be treated with respect. They deserve to be treated with dignity. And as survivors, as I've said in other videos, it's our responsibility to get the help that we need. It's our responsibility to really re-identify who we are as individuals, that we are not the car we drive. We are not the job that we have. We are not the money that we make. We're not the GPA that we achieve. We are who we are. And if you don't know how to reestablish who you are, then that is why it's very important to find a counselor who can help you really dig deep into your soul and to find ways to figure out who you are. And until you know who you are, for example, look for little glimpses of positive attributes that you pour into the world. So if you are someone who likes to cook, write that down. If you're someone who's very compassionate and caring, who loves to volunteer, write those things down. And anytime you're feeling the urge to compare yourself to somebody, you're feeling the urge to be perfectionist, or you're feeling very depressed, or feeling depleted, or you're feeling sorry for yourself, read that list and stand in front of a mirror and recite those things to yourself in the mirror and say, I'm compassionate, I'm caring, I am funny, I am happy, I am a good cook, I am all of these things. And really, really practice that. Even if you have to do it several times a day in the mirror, you know, practice that until you truly believe that that's what you are. And you need to go no contact with the narcissist in your life. The more, especially when you're in your healing journey, the more you continue to expose yourself to that kind of behavior, the more you're going to expose other people to that kind of behavior. Because what you are, what you're around is what you become. I'm a very big proponent of that. What you are is what you become. So if you're around people who are toxic, there's a chance that you're going to become toxic. There's a chance that you have some toxicity in you. So in order for you to really heal in the way that you want to, or in the way that God wants you to heal, you need to really sever ties with the people that are meaning you harm. People who are constantly comparing you to other people, um, family members that are constantly comparing you to your siblings and putting you down and saying that, well, why aren't you married? Or, why are you dressed like that? Or why do you act that way? So and so doesn't act that way. So and so doesn't do that, and whatever. That is not right. It is negativity, it is abuse, and it should not be tolerated. And going no contact with people like that, you're not being insensitive, you're not being rude, you're not being an asshole. You are showing them and you're setting a boundary that I love myself enough not to put up with this. And I love you, the abuser, enough to not continue to enable this poor behavior anymore. The more you continue to expose yourself to this behavior, the more you're going to lose friends. You're going to lose other healthy, positive people in your life because you're going to, whether unconsciously or consciously, subject them to that kind of venom that your narcissist is subjecting to you. So, an example of how perfectionism gets out of hand is you might be a student and you might be going for your master's degree, or you might be going for your bachelor's degree, or even your doctorate, and you get a 3.5 GPA, but your best friend gets a 3.79 GPA. So instead of you being happy for the 3.5 GPA, which is a wonderful GPA, by the way, you see that your friend got a 3.79 GPA. So instead of you being happy for this friend, for your best friend, you're not only jealous of your best friend, but you're pissed off at yourself for getting a 3.5, and you're minimizing your own accomplishments. You know where that comes from? It comes from the narcissist. It comes from growing up around a parent who only minimized your accomplishments and who did not accept, who did not celebrate your accomplishments properly. All they did was compare you to other people, and you felt that you weren't good enough. And that was what the narcissist wanted you to do, wanted you to think. They did not want you to think that you were good enough because they don't think they're good enough. They don't like themselves, so they have to project how they feel about themselves onto you. And by you getting 3.5s and 3.7 GPAs, you pose as a threat to the narcissist because that narcissist can't get a 3.5 GPA. That narcissist can't excel in grades and excel in success like that. So what they have to do is bring you down like them, because the narcissist is the epitome of misery loves company. So if you feel that you're struggling with perfectionism, if you feel that you're struggling with um, trying to be the best, know that it's not going to get you anywhere. Be happy with your accomplishments. I'm not saying be complacent. but be grateful where you are. If you're driving if you're driving a used car, be happy that you have a car. If you're living in an apartment, be happy that you have a place to live. There's a lot of people at my age that are still living at home with their parents. There's a lot of people my age that are living out on the street. I'm grateful for having a place of my own. I may not be a homeowner, but I have a house, I have a place to live. And it just doesn't pay to compare yourself to other people, because there's always going to be somebody better looking than us. There's always going to be someone smarter than us. There's always going to be someone more educated than us. There's always going to be someone who has a better looking girlfriend, a better looking boyfriend. There's always going to be somebody better than us in some way. And we have to be okay with that. And the narcissist has taught you that you cannot be okay with anything less than perfect. So what happens is you sabotage yourself, you sabotage relationships, and you end up getting yourself sick and driving yourself crazy. And for what? For what? So that you can finally prove to the narcissist that you're worth it. Newsflash, you're never going to be worth it to the narcissist. I'm going to repeat myself. You're never, ever going to be worth it to the narcissist, because the narcissist is not capable of accepting you for who you are. The narcissist is not capable of loving you for who you are. So no matter how many degrees you get, no matter how many straight A report cards you get, no matter how many Rolls Royces you have, no matter how many six-figure incomes you get, you are never going to be good enough for that narcissist. Never. So if you're doing all of this stuff in order to prove to the narcissist, hey, I'm good enough, you're wasting your time. You will never, ever, 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 ever be good enough for the narcissist. Because the narcissist is the one that has a problem, not you. So if you're trying really hard to excel in school and excel in your finances and things like that, because of the narcissist, I would stop. I wouldn't waste my time. However, if you're doing it for yourself, I would kind of dial back a little bit and realize that, you know what? I'm not going to, if I didn't make summa cum laude this term, the hell with it. I didn't make summa cum laude this term. Doesn't mean that I'm a dumbass. Doesn't mean that I'm stupid. Doesn't mean that I'm not educated. I just didn't make summa cum laude. End of story. If Joe Blow is making six figures and I'm only making $60,000 a year, you know what? I'm happy for Joe Blow. But you know what? I'm happy for my $60,000 a year, because I'm able to save money. I'm making a very decent salary. And that's how you have to look at it, because the narcissist will always try to one-up you. You can have 5 different degrees, 6 different BMWs, Rolls Royces, and Mercedes Benz, and be living in a mansion on a hill someplace. And that narcissist will try to find a way to make you to minimize those accomplishments. So why waste your time? Why waste your time trying to prove to them that you're good? You need to prove to yourself that you're good, because you are good. And you don't need to waste your time trying to prove anything to these jackasses, because that's exactly what they are, pure jackasses. So I just figured I'd make a quick video on perfectionism and the narcissist. Please stay tuned for more videos. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to my channel and like my videos. I haven't been paying a whole lot of attention to my channel in a while, but I am going to make more videos. I finally had the opportunity to see that movie, Mommy's Little Boy, so one of these days I'll make a video on how psychotic and narcissistic that mother is. I also, on my channel, will be talking about borderline personality disorder and how how borderline personality disorder is related to narcissism, but it's a hell of a lot worse. Borderline personality disorder people are batshit crazy. So please stay tuned for more videos on those topics, and I hope that all of you have a wonderful night. Stay warm for those who are living on the East Coast as these temperatures drop fast, and I look to see you again next time. Remember, you're worth it. Do not let the narcissist take away your self-esteem, your self-worth, or your ability to change the world. Always remember that today is the first day of the rest of your life, and that you are responsible for your own happiness and for your own joy. The narcissist isn't, and nobody else is. Take care, and I'll see you again next time. Bye.